Okay, so the RB25 transmission's installed. There's the car there. Requires custom wiring. The speed gauge is activated through a cable with the stock transmission. The upgraded RB25 transmission is activated through an electronic sensor, so that's different and needs modification to work. The positioning is about 2 inches further back, so custom tranny mount was made to make that work. What else? The output shaft is way bigger, so the stock drive shaft won't work. So RB25 drive shaft is needed, and basically chop off the yoke and weld it on to a pipe. Get a machine shop to do it because it needs to be high-speed balanced, and basically what you got is a one-piece custom drive shaft at the end of the day. That's the last piece that's getting made right now for the Skyline to complete that tranny swap. Had to do the same thing on the 69 Camaro, because obviously Nissan Skyline engine in it, and that wouldn't work, so custom one-piece drive shaft was made. So same thing happening on the Skyline. What else? I think there was a couple other little things. The starter just bolted up. Fitment. So it was, the tranny's so much bigger, it was really hard to get in. A really tight, super tight space to fit it in, but it does work. I mean, if you just take your time and do it, it will go. But like the stock tranny pops in and out, no problem, very easy. This one was like, oh, you gotta get the angle perfect and just squeeze it right in. But once it's in, it's okay. Also, I had to modify a bit of the exhaust because the tranny's so fat that it went and touched the exhaust. So that was modified. But that's about it. So it's gonna be a week or two for the drive shaft to be made, and then it is complete and up and running. So this thing broke down on a Friday, and by Monday the swap is pretty much done, besides waiting for one piece of the puzzle. And that's the way that we like to do it here. Something breaks, you just fix it. Don't let things sit around, because then it just gets worse. So I'm very excited to, where's the camera? So yeah, drive shaft comes in, we're gonna bolt it up, and we are gonna test it. One last thing, the shifter's different. So the stock tranny had like a short shift put on. That would not fit this because the shifter's way different. So that's about it. If you have any questions on doing the swap, if you're thinking about doing it on your Skyline and you have any questions, I mean, shoot me a message in the comment section below and I can answer whatever question that you have, because it was quite simple. I mean, there's a lot of little changes you got to make, but it wasn't difficult to do. So let me know, and if you want to see how this thing will now perform having a tranny that can hold the power, please subscribe, because we are going to push this tranny to the limit. So I got a call this morning that the drive shaft is complete and it's ready. It's been about 2 weeks or so. Pretty far drive, about 45 minutes to get here. I'm here now, so let's grab it. They were closed, so I asked them to leave it by the gate, and there she is. Hopefully I gave them the correct measurement and it will fit. We will soon find out. I'll head back to the shop now and get this bad boy installed. Back at the shop, got the drive shaft here, and I'm gonna see if it fits. I'll be honest, I kind of was rushing when I measured it, so I'm not fully confident that it's even gonna fit. I hope it is, but we're about to find out. Okay, I got some work clothes on, time to do this thing. So the first step in installing a drive shaft is gonna be getting underneath the car and getting anything that's in the way out of the way. Lucky for me, nothing is in the way. So the next thing I need to do, I need to jack it up, put some jack stands under it, because I'm too lazy to push it onto the hoist. And I'm gonna do a test fitment to make sure that it's not too big or too small, and then get the hardware and bolt it up. Now on a drive shaft, you want to make sure that there is no damage right here on this part of the drive shaft, okay? There's no damage, there's no dirt and debris, because this goes onto the transmission, so it gets inserted into the transmission, the output shaft of the transmission, and there's actually a seal, and this goes and seals on that seal. Now let's say that this had damage, like I dropped it on the ground, or it had rust, or it had any kind of issue, some debris on it. When you go to insert it in, it'll go in and damage the seal that's on the transmission, and then you'll have tranny fluid actually leaking from the back of the tranny. So you want to make sure that this is completely spotless. That's just a little tip. And then inside of here is a bunch of teeth and stuff. See, like there's dirt here because they left it outside. I need to fully clean this and make sure it's all spotless before actually test fitting or installing this piece. So that's just a little tip for you guys if you're installing a drive shaft. Okay, drive shaft's in. Now it's time. Just drop something. It's time to put the oil in. Yeah, don't forget to put the oil in when you do a tranny or an engine or a differential swap, because it will very quickly seize up with no oil. So let's go ahead and put this in and give it a test. Finally, test out the new transmission. Okay, so there's a new drive shaft. As you can see, it's one piece. This was called the one-piece drive shaft. The stock one would have been two pieces connected here. That's how the stock ones come. And this is the custom one-piece drive shaft, because the length is different because of the new transmission. It comes further back a little bit, so the old one didn't work. Alright, Skyline's done. We got fresh upgraded transmission installed, custom one-piece racing drive shaft made and installed. So she's ready for the road. I'm driving it. I've drove it yesterday. I'm driving it again today just to check everything out, and I'll be breaking everything in and then taking it to the dyno to see what kind of numbers it's actually putting down. So kind of like a little lesson here for anybody who drives a modified vehicle. If shit breaks, and it usually will, instead of replacing it, upgrade it. Because I broke this transmission, and then you're just kind of like, ah, shit, it's broken. Now I got to put time and money into it. This whole process took about 3 weeks, just waiting for parts. However, the drive shaft and the transmission were both upgraded. So then it's kind of worth it. It's like you put money into it and you put time into it, but you're not back at square one at the end of it. You've done upgrades, and so there is a purpose to the money, there's a purpose to the time and the effort to get there. So this thing is running flawlessly. There's no grinds. It's really good. And having the one-piece drive shaft is really amazing because you have instant response. So typically the transmission spins the drive shaft, and it'll initially spin the first half, and then immediately right after the U-joint, the second half catches on and spins, and that spins your rear differential, which then connects to the axles and spins the wheels. Well, having a one-piece drive shaft eliminates the weight between the first part and the second part of the drive shaft. Really happy with the end result. I have now a setup that should be reliable for the power of the vehicle, since the power was upgraded significantly. Now the transmission and the drive shaft can handle it. I don't know if the rear axles can handle it, but we'll wait and see. This project is over and I am out.